Boy, oh boy, One Piece just keeps getting crazier. This week we learned that Moria has a tie to the Kozuki, we learned that Garling found something special at God Valley which made them go there, and that Shanks was freaking born there instead of the Holy Land, which is a massive surprise. So we have a lot of stuff to break down today, and I'm joined by Marth to do just that. And Marth, you haven't been on the channel here for a few months, and I did see that you had a big video recently, so just how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for having me, Doug. I had a video that I kind of made out of community theory idea, kind of. So this one was from Mr. Bushido. He kind of gave me the idea, and I made a video out of it. And for my channel size, I think it worked out quite well, so... yeah, that's that. Yeah,
no, that's awesome, man. We'll definitely link that below. But we do have a lot to talk about today, my friend. And we're gonna start off with something that I think is surprising, which is the cover story, because you probably feel the same way. Where the Yamato cover story, for 40 pages of content, it hasn't felt like 40 pages of content. It's felt like it's dragged on a little bit. But
it felt like 100.
Yeah, right. But this week, we learned that Moria is a hero in the land of Wano. And he even has a grave there with the name Kozuki Moria on it, which I think is a surprise to just about everybody. Actually, speaking of Mr. Bushido, he actually brought this idea up before it happened. And I remember in the Discord, there was a lot of pushback on it. And I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was more open to it because I was like, well... they did say his body vanished, and that's literally what Moria did after Marineford. Remember when Doflamingo was supposed to kill him, but he disappeared, and we later learned that's because Absalom turned him invisible. So in that sense, it does make sense, but I mean, it's still a shock, I feel like, to see Kozuki Moria. So what do you think is the situation there?
So, well, I think the overall situation is that since he probably was raised in Wano, right? I think that's the
brought up
understanding.
Born in West Blue, but brought up in Ringo. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. So he probably just didn't go there to fight Kaido to become like the next Emperor of the Sea or something. He probably really just wanted to get rid of him to drive him out of the country, right? And that's so unexpected, especially for this character. Mm-hmm. It's really crazy. So he went there. He probably tried to... maybe he already had the power. And he tried to use Ryuma, who's a dragon slayer, to kill a dragon, right?
Oh, so that would be interesting.
That's the thought process behind that, I guess.
Well, so I never even thought about that, but like if he's brought up in Ringo and stuff, that would definitely explain how he like knew of Ryuma and knew where the grave was and that he would be useful and that Shusui was strong, all that kind of stuff, right? Because that's like one thing where you might hear the legends, but you're not going to know where to go find him or that the corpse is even there if you don't live there and hear about it. So that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
But the thing for me, though, is remember earlier in Wano when they said, when Zora was explaining how he, got Shusui from Ryuma, and I can't remember exactly what they said, but they were like, oh, you're crazy. That, Ryuma died a long time ago. How are you going to get it from him? And so if they would have known Moria well enough to know that he had powers and that he, turned Ryuma into a zombie, they probably would have known that, so I feel like they wouldn't have seen him use those... at least on Ryuma, they wouldn't have seen him use it. So I don't know how that really pieces together, but I mean, you're probably right.
So my idea, kind of, behind this is maybe... it's gonna be a little bit wild, right? But think about Absalom, right? He did not eat a smile fruit, but he does certainly look like a smile fruit user, right? Just from the looks of it. That could have been a hint from Oda very early on. That maybe... even though he was pretty young, Absalom kind of was around Kaido's crew at that time. Or maybe was part of the crew. And maybe Absalom gave Moria this fruit and helped him escape after he lost the battle against Kaido. That's kind of the idea behind it. That's why Moria likes Absalom so much, even though we all don't think that should be a thing, but Absalom is a piece of shit, right? But
well, that's a big factor, is that Absalom was only 13 when Moria fought Kaido. And so even going back to how Moria was like his body vanished or whatever, I'm like even if we think it's still the invisibility fruit, I'm not sure if it could be Absalom, because is it possible that 13-year-old Absalom is on Moria's crew in the land of Wano when he was brought up in Ring? technically sure, I guess.
The thought was more like he was on Kaido's crew somehow.
But him being 13, it's like he wouldn't even be on the crew, right? He'd be like
he just
slave
clings
or something,
along, right? Yeah, something like that, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wonder if we for me, I find it kind of hard to believe that if he's 13, it's like I don't know if Kaido's gonna go and pick up random 13-year-olds because like they're not going to be useful to him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we have seen plenty of pirates taking boys on their ship, right, just to hang along. So maybe something like that. Maybe they kind of took him to mop the floors or what. I don't know.
Well, but then you'd have to wonder why he would save Moria if he was on Kaido's crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's a big mystery no matter what. But
it definitely is.
But what
he was an ugly little boy. Like if you look at the SBS, how he looked as a kid. I mean,
yeah, no, for sure.
Kind of miserable.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the only problem I have is like, it's just Absalom getting the fruit and making it into Wano and being involved with all these pirates by 13. It's like, how does that? I mean, it's possible. Now we got Kozuki Moria, so I mean, who knows? Everything's possible at this point.
I'm just trying to make connections,
Yeah, no, for sure. But what do you think is up with the name Kozuki Moria? Like, why is it Kozuki? Do you think that's just like the Wano citizens are like revering him because like went against Kaido, and Kozuki Oden went against Kaido, and so it's just like maybe they didn't know his real last name, so they're like, well, you're an honorary Kozuki because you went against the big bad. Or did he like mislead them and he like said he was Kozuki Moria, but he was just lying so that he like could gain favor with them? Or is there just a mix-up? Because I don't know if you've heard, but there's this thing where if you flip the kanji for Kozuki, it's pronounced gecko, but it's not like the word gecko or like the same thing as Gecko Moria, but it's just said that way. So I don't know if
but both means moonlight or something like that. I think that's what they told me. Yeah.
Yep. And so it's like, is there maybe a mix-up there? Because remember with Kinemon, he mixed the symbols up to know which port to go to. So is there a joke there where somebody somehow misread Kozuki and said, or misread Gecko, or misheard Gecko or something? Maybe it's like a God Usopp thing where Moria was half dead and he's only able to get like some parts of different words out, and they're like, wait, did you say Kozuki? I don't know. I feel like all these are possibilities, genuinely. I don't know which one's right. So what are your thoughts on that?
So I think it all depends, right? Like, was Moria fighting Kaido after Oden already died, or was it before that? I think after, right?
Well, he fought him 23 years ago, and I think Oden died 20 years ago. So he fought Kaido before Oden. He fought Kaido while Oden was dancing.
Ah, see. Oh, why he was dancing even?
I believe, right? Because from 25 to 20 years ago is when he danced. Because Roger died 25 years ago, and he got to Wano a little bit before that, because like it was in that year where Roger was, with
but that's
Rouge.
Kind of odd, because I feel like if Oden was dancing and he saw like a outside pirate crew coming in and like trying to defeat Kaido, I feel like Oden probably would have tried to assist him, maybe. I don't know.
You would think.
Well, right?
But he made that deal with
Oden
Orochi.
wasn't there at that moment. Maybe he was still traveling.
Well, he made that deal. Remember, he was like, if I dance for 5 years, you'll give me control back, and then we're good. So I think he was mainly thinking, which that makes that decision look even worse, by the way. Like his call to trust Orochi. Now it's like, dude, you could have joined in on Moria and probably won at that point. You go get Hyogoro and whoever else, and you're good.
Exactly. But if we believe that, whether or not Oden was there or not, but if we believe that that happened before Oden died, right? Then surely that must have been what you said earlier, the thing with the name, that they kind of just learned how his name was and they were kind of too stupid to read it right. Otherwise, the only reason I see is that he was raised actually from the Kozuki clan, then he left for some years, and then he came back, and they were like, "Oh, look, it's Kozuki Moria. He's back. Like he's gonna free the country, something like that."
I mean, like the fact that he's called Gecko Moria now makes me think it is his real name. But maybe while he was there, or maybe he didn't even know his full name until after he left. I don't know.
Yeah, and I remember also in your stream, in your reaction, people brought up that Toko kind of looks like Perona, right?
Oh yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. Yes.
It kind of works, right? So Moria could have probably taken Absalom and Perona both from Wano if they tried to escape together.
Like Absalom, like how old would so the Perona thing really depends on whether or not, like, how old is she? She's I think she's 26. So she would have only been, let me see, she's 25. So she would have only been 2 years old back when that happened. So it's like, I don't know if that really makes sense, because it's like that would be almost weird for, unless Moria somehow became like her protective father, right? Like if her
can
parents
only reach,
died.
right? If he knows the family of her, like, and they were like, oh, like, take her with us, with you, because like if you leave Wano, at least she's safe or something, because they knew there's no good future for her to come with Kaido being there, something like that.
Yeah, because what some people brought up in my chat, which I really like this idea, is so maybe the story is that like Toko got sent into the future by Toki back in the day, and Perona got sent away with Moria, which is basically the same story as Hiyori and Momonosuke, right? Because Hiyori didn't get sent to the future, but Momonosuke did, and he also got sent out of the country and all that stuff later. So it was like they tried multiple paths of making sure that their, like, at least one of their kids would make it to the future, right? Like they didn't put all their eggs into one basket. So maybe Toko's parents back in the day were doing the same thing, because I think she's like 6 years old or something. So it could be that, like, her and Perona were both born like 1 or 2 years after each other. I mean, no, they're not twins, because also their eyelashes are a little different, so they're probably just regular sisters. But either way, one was born after the other, and so they sent Toko to the future, which is why she's only 6 years old. Like, because they maybe even sent her to this point, because remember how Odin said, like, in 20 years in the future, Wano's going to get saved and whatever. Like, they kind of knew there was a point in the future where that would happen. So maybe they sent her close to that, and then Perona just got sent away. So it's literally the same story. Like, Moria, you take her. Toko, we're sending you to the future because we're not going to make it through this probably, you know, so that way our kids are safe. And I think that would be really awesome, because, you know, it's more evidence of like the Wano suffering, like the butterfly effect of what Kaido did is even bigger, basically.
Yeah. But another question I have for this is this the same place where Ryuma's grave was supposed to be?
In Ringo, somewhere, I believe.
Yeah. So we didn't see Zoro visiting it, right? But apparently it happened. So if Zoro was there, he knows this.
I don't think Zoro went to the grave, because they never said it.
You don't?
And in the anime, they had him go visit 2 graves, and it was Pedro and Yasu, which I've mentioned this so many times. I don't know why Pedro is buried in Wano. For all we know, he never even went there, right? Like,
I don't think they have a piece of him either.
And Carrot, where did Carrot go? Back to Zoe.
Yeah.
Carrot, just make the grave there. What are we doing? You know, I mean,
maybe he has several graves. I don't know.
I don't know that. And also, like, for Zoro, I'm like, Zoro, you weren't even in Whole Cake. Like you barely know Pedro, and you're in his grave, but you didn't go to Ryuma's. Anyway, we didn't see him go, so I don't think he did.
In my head canon, he went there. We'll probably see later. Like, I don't know. There will be a flashback.
But they did spend a lot of time in Ringo regardless. Remember when, like, he met the bandit guy, and he met Hiyori over there, and then they went and got all the blades from, like, the grave thing that they found. So he spent a lot of time there. So there's still a good argument that he could have seen it, which I feel like he would have to say something. But I don't know. Maybe he saw it and was like, well, it doesn't say Gecko Moria, so I didn't think it was him. Maybe. I don't know.
I feel like he's probably going to say something the moment they meet Moria again. And I think inevitably that will happen.
Yeah.
At some point.
Well, and you also think about, like, you know, Zoro spent a lot of time with Perona in the time skip also. And so I wonder if there's going to be a story there where maybe this will come to light somehow, and Zoro will be like, oh, I remember Perona mentioning something about this. And so maybe he's the one who puts all the pieces together, because he's like, oh, I did see this grave, and Perona did say this, so maybe that makes sense, because, you know, like, he should say something, but maybe he just, you know, Zoro's being Zoro. He just hasn't thought about it that much, but I don't know.
And just think about what all of this might be indicating. So, like, there's a good chance that Moria at some point maybe will, like, team up with the Straw Hats. And now think about it. Gear 5, Shadow Luffy.
Yes.
That's great. Just think about that.
I not gonna lie, I did a video about 2 years ago where I said the only power up Luffy has left, other than hockey stuff, that whatever, he's always gonna have that. But the only like devil fruit related power up he's gonna have left is Nightmare Gear 5 Luffy. I think that's the only one. Because
that would be so insane.
Because like that's not a new gear, but it could be a new form with the same gear, right? It's like a power up with that same. And just remember how like Luffy, whenever he got those other shadows, he was good with the sword all of a sudden, and he was like just a little like his whole attitude changed. I'm like, I want to see Gear 5 Luffy, but more serious and with other skills, and just see, like, what does Swordsman Gear 5 Luffy act like? You know, like, is he gonna, like, gonna be crazy?
Yeah, to this day, this is my most favorite Luffy transformation to this day. Like, he was so badass. I really love this.
Like, for me, you know, second gear is really hard to compare to, because just putting the fist on the ground against Bluno and... It was the shock factor, because he was like, you know, I've been training, like we didn't even see it, like we didn't know going into it that he had unlocked a new form. So for me, that was like, I don't know, it felt like Super Saiyan a little bit at the time. So like that always stands out to me. But Nightmare Luffy, dude, that's right behind it. Nightmare Luffy is awesome, and
that was really good. And
you know, he did have, you know, Gear 2 and 3 at the time, but I don't think he ever used the gears with Nightmare Luffy. I don't think. So I would love to see him. I think he will, because if Moria's going to come back, and I'm sure you've noticed all the parallels going on with like Moria and Emu, or like the shadow powers in Emu, and they went and tried to kill Moria, and it's like, do they want his fruit? You know, like, I don't know.
I have like a very loose script lying around, like talking about Emu and Moria connections. Like, I want to finish it. I'll probably do it after my next 2 videos or something, but it's very interesting, definitely.
Yeah, I've been thinking about, because like I've mentioned it in a bunch of different videos, but I've never done just a big, like, Moria spoils everything about Emu type video.
He does.
But he does. He does.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like this Moria upscale here means that Moria's coming to Elbaf, or at least going to join the Cross Guild and have a bigger role right after Elbaf or something. But I think he will be there, because his biggest attack was Shadow's Asgard, and Asgard is a Norse mythology thing, so...
Yeah, there's like a big reason why Blackbeard just kept him and just didn't kill him off right away, right? So he has got use for the power. He wants it. And
remember, we have S-Bat, or S-Gecko, which I prefer S-Gecko, but it feels like everyone's going towards S-Bat. But anyways... we have that Seraphim, and he probably has the shadow powers because it's a Paramecia fruit. And remember, Blackbeard already went after Boa, whose powers are also duplicated in the Seraphim. So the powers that Blackbeard's looking for are coincidentally in the Seraphim, which he can now coincidentally control using Katarina Devon's Saturn transformation. So
and it's also so smart from Oda doing that, because now he doesn't have to like sacrifice 2 beloved characters.
Yep.
Like Oda and Moria.
the Seraphim are really just a result of copium from Oda. Yeah. That's my agenda. Is he's like, how do I give Blackbeard these powers that he absolutely needs without killing these characters? Oh, I make people who have the same powers.
But I forgive him because I totally would do the same.
I much prefer this than a lot of other alternatives, right? But you know, you brought up a lot of the Moria and Emu stuff, and you know, we both talked how we might do videos on it, but I think one thing from the chapter that might tie to that, it might end up being the ultimate proof of what we're talking about, is what Garling found at God Valley. Because he said that it was more than just the resources. Essentially, I can't remember the exact. You know what? We can actually pull it up here.
I have it in front of me.
Yeah, I do. You have it too. Okay, too. Yep. Sometimes I forget, and we just get talking. Oh, I didn't fix your Discord. Everyone, I'll fix it in a second. But yeah. See, you're like cropped out. Drag it over. Drag it over, Marth. There's been a couple times where I forgot to fix that, and Sai would notice while we're doing it, and he would like purposefully scoot his chair over and like try to get in. But here, I got you. Here.
Okay. I have a little space here. It's fine.
Here, no, you're good.
Oops.
Oh.
Okay.
Everything. It's all my fault, guys. It's all my fault. But anyway, now that we're here, so Garling, he said, while their abundant resources would certainly prove valuable to us, we just made an outrageous discovery. It was a completely unexpected find. So if you go back to chapter 1095, I think, maybe 1096. I think it's 1095 though, like the precursor to the main God Valley chapter. They bring up that the reason they went there were for the resources. So we already know that like one of the main reasons they chose that place was that. So Garling is basically telling us like, yeah, the resources are good, but there's something else. There's something else why we have to go there. And he's even kind of pushing them to go sooner than 3 years. So what do we think that is? Well, I have a couple guesses, and I'm not super sold on any of them, but I think these are good options. First, what if he found Moria's race? What if he thought what if he thought they were extinct, and he went there, and maybe he just found Moria, or like there was, his family or whatever, and that's why he's like, I thought these guys were gone, and that's why it's so unexpected. Is like, hey, this important race from the past. Well, guess what? They're still here. We got to go there and either like subjugate them, like get them under our control, or we got to hurry up and go and take them out because the government has a very long history in eliminating these special races from the past, right? Lunarians, Buccaneers, etc. Fishmen they enslave. So I think that's a really good guess, honestly, because we already know that Moria's from the West Blue. There's all the theories that Thriller Bark is a chunk of God Valley. If that was just his home, that really answers a lot of the reasons why, that this all kind of fits together. And so, tying it all back to Emu, I don't know if Emu is a part of that race, but I think that would be a big twist, because remember how Garling said, the Great One will be pleased. What if it's because his race isn't extinct and there's more of them and that's why it's Moria? I'm not sure about that part, but I think that would be interesting, because Moria is like a really weird race, right? He's not like necessarily Ancient Giant or Oni, but he's like almost he's like demon, like devil. You know what I'm saying? Like he looks like he's from the underworld or something, right? Like I don't know. It's a weird race. So before I give you my other options, what do you think about that one, Moria's race? Or do you have any other ideas?
I think that's a really cool idea, especially with everything what we said before. But my idea is, maybe it's a bit outrageous, but what if they find Uranus there? Because if you think about when we learned about, like, when we saw Lucia being destructed, right? There was kind of around the same chapters where we saw like the hunt in God Valley, right? So Oda kind of planted this not too close to each other, but
the blast happened in chapter 1060, and then the God Valley stuff was like 1095, 1096.
So it's not too far away from each other, right? And I feel like, what if they found the weapon there, and since then they were trying to build the mother frame from it, right? Or flame, or I still don't know. Like, so you know why I think that. Just scroll down. Oh, you already changed the picture. Okay, but if you look at where we see God Valley, right? And now think, right. You have to scroll down, I think. Yeah, it's almost at the bottom. It's one of the last pedals.
Right here.
So look at God Valley. Doesn't it look like a Star Wars spaceship from above? Kind of.
I guess it kind of does look like a Star Wars ship. Like, I guess in my mind, I'm more so thinking that it was a mountain that got cut in the middle, but I guess it could also be spaceship size.
Most likely it's that, but what if it's a spaceship, right? That it kind of just vertically inserted into the ocean or something like that, and all that stuff around is just stuff that layered over it over the time, right?
Yeah, no, I mean that's actually a pretty cool idea. I mean.
And that's how God Valley disappeared, because they managed to unearth that ship and make it fly again.
So I guess for me, the other thing is like the power source of it, like how, like Vegapunk used the Mother Flame or whatever. So it's like, then you'd have to answer that question, like how would they have powered it back then? You know what I mean? If it's there, right. But I mean, I like the idea. I'm just giving pushback just for,
no. It's a totally fair question.
Yeah.
But I could just argue like they kind of just removed it from there until they managed to actually use it, right?
Well, maybe lifting it out is what erased the island, not blowing it up, right? Like they didn't use the weapon that day; they just took it, and that destroyed the island in it, like automatically. That would make sense. Yeah, no, that's an interesting idea.
I mean, it's just a fun take, though. Like, I know it's a bit reachy, but I feel like when I look at it like this, I feel like it looks like a spaceship, and all the pod races from Star Wars in between, where like the little the energy flows from left to right and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's a cool idea. I haven't heard that one. I don't know if that's a popular idea, but I feel like the community would love that one. So that's a really good idea.
It literally just came up when I was thinking about what I could talk to you
nice.
about today. I was just looking at it and I was like, oh wait.
Yeah. No, that's a cool idea because now that I think about the thing I said, we're like lifting it up would erase the island. That really pieces it a lot of that stuff together. You know, I'm of the mind that the Ox Lloyd is the weapon personally, but I mean honestly, like that could be it right there, and then that's how you'd have to still answer how the government lost it because they had it in the past because they have the Ox Bell, so you know the ship is somewhere we don't know where. So I actually like that idea. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I just don't know. I would want to make a video on that, but like it would be 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, I feel that way too. There's sometimes where I have an idea and I'm like I could stretch it into a 20 minute video, but I'd almost feel bad because I really just have one small idea that, you know, and then I'm just like plugging other stuff just to make the time. So I feel the same way. I don't ever want to do that. But this is a good idea. You could do like a short on it. Well, we're going to get the next chapter soon, which really makes it hard to do theories on chapter-specific elements, man. I liked when Oda was having the breaks, honestly.
But I mean, when me too, by the way, I love the breaks, but if that happens to be a spaceship somehow in the next chapters, I can still say, well, look at Dak's redacted video. I said it in
yeah,
at least that.
Yeah, you can get a clip of this and put it in your video, like guys here, and then you can be like, but I got more, like, you know, I guess this already, but that's just the beginning. You know, we got more. Yeah. I like that idea.
I have many long-term theories. I'm still convinced they will all be right in the end.
Emu is a clown. Is that?
Yeah.
That's happening. Maybe that's what Garling found. He found the clown race, and he's like, Emu, you'll be pleased that.
You never know.
Hey, we got to find the clown race. I'm still waiting for it. Buggy's the only one we know, right? Which is like, how's that even possible? I really hope, though. I'm sure you've heard about this at some point, but I really hope that the circus Ida worked for. I hope Buggy's parents. Or I don't know if they have to like have run that, but I hope there's a connection between Buggy and that circus because Harudin worked for Buggy, and so his mom worked for that circus, and I think it'd be cool if like Buggy's dad ran that circus, and then so like both their families connected in that way. I think that'd be cool. But another idea, a completely different idea from what we've talked about for what could be at God Valley, and this one I really like. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I like it. Is what if he found Bink's sake? Because remember when Shanks met Whitebeard and they were sharing some sake together, and Shanks told him the best sake that I've ever had was from my hometown. And so it's like, well, if God Valley has some really good sake, because now we know Shanks was born there, is that maybe the origin of it? It's like the best sake in the world, and that's why the Great One will be pleased. Is it's like, I didn't think this was around anymore. Wow, Bink sake's still here. And we also heard Rayleigh singing Bink Sake. Remember earlier in the chapter?
The whole chapter is almost based around the bar. So
and it's also
further supports the idea.
Exactly. So I like it. I feel like Bink Sake has been built up to be so important that it's like a end game thing, like a Laugh Tale thing potentially, maybe a Joy Boy thing, a Void Century thing. But I mean, God Valley is like one of the first places that we're learning about that I think is maybe important enough to have Bink Sake. I'm not 100%, but like I wouldn't have been happy if we found it at, you know, Punk Hazard or Dressrosa. Like those are cool islands, but they're not like important enough. But God Valley, where Shanks is born, who taught Luffy Bink Sake, where he got sake from his hometown, and Shanks drinks all the time and all that stuff. Most of his crew are named after beverages or like liquids in general, right? Like Bonk Punch and Lime Juice and all those guys. So I don't know, man. I think it's possible. Where are you at on the Bink Sake agenda?
So I never thought about that. It could have found Bink Sake there, but then I would also ask, what exactly is it? Just alcohol? Or is it some special kind of liquid that enables you to do even more things?
You know, I've never done a theory on this. I've honestly never thought about what Bink Sake... Like I thought it's a really important sake, like maybe a never-ending fountain of sake or something. But I've honestly never thought about what happens if you drink it, other than like getting drunk. Maybe what happens, and I just came up with this, so I don't know if this is like a theory that's already in existence, but what if drinking it gets you so drunk you go into Gear 5?
That's crazy. That's good. I love it.
I mean, we've already seen that you can get it multiple ways, right? With Bonnie. Bonnie showed us you do not just need the Nika fruit. So
that's correct, yeah. But also, what if you drink Bing sake with someone, they ultimately become your crewmate, no matter if they want or not? Because usually when you like form a bond with someone, you drink a cup of sake with them, right?
Oh,
and
so
like
this is like
Big Sake could enforce this, perhaps. I don't know. I would kind of connect this to the Davy Back fight, you know?
Yeah, or what
so
if
you lose it? Yeah.
Or what if it's one where, like, if you exchange Bing Sake with another person and then you go against your promise, then, like, you automatically die. It's like a poison in that way, where for honor, in a sense. That's cool.
It's kind of evil.
Yeah.
It's kind of evil, but I kind of like the idea, yeah.
No, I actually like that, because that's a big focus right now, right? With Domi Reversi and the Davy Back fight, and even like the Giants, how like Rox has said it, and Gunko, where like whoever the Giants side with is going to greatly impact the outcome of all this. And Luffy's, I feel like, going to win that eventually, right? He's going to get the Giants on his side, like Loki and everybody are going to follow him. And that's like his greatest power that Mihawk said, is like people just follow him. So all these other people are finding ways to force people to listen, but Luffy's like, I'm gonna get you to listen because I'm worth listening to, right? I like it. That's cool.
But are they saying, like, I strongly urge you to hold the next hunt at God Valley, right? Is the hunt necessary to unearth whatever they found? Do they necessarily have to get rid of all the people so they can like do whatever they want there?
I'm glad you brought this up, because I feel like the like political dynamics of this God Valley thing is interesting. Like, do they really have to like eliminate everyone for this? And like, why do they do it every 3 years also? Like, if they determine that these resources are important and there's something important enough to go after, why don't they just go right away? Like, there's a lot of questions there on why they do this the way that they do. And I feel like in general, the reason that they wipe people out and have like these games every 3 years, and it sounds terrible, but I think it's honestly just because of like tradition. Like the Celestial Dragons view it like the World Cup or like the Olympics. You know, it's like, well, we don't want to have it every year, because like if you have the Olympics every year, it's gonna like dilute the excitement for it, right? It's not gonna feel like the same tradition. It's like if you have the Super Bowl, like if we had 2 football seasons a year, then the Super Bowl wouldn't feel quite as special, because it's not every year like on basically the same day. It's like, and it sounds, I hate that reasoning, but I feel like that's literally it. They're just
totally
used to
agree.
it. And there could also be a layer of it where it's like, if we go and do it all the time, the world's going to be in perpetual fear of us instead of paying us the tribute and keeping this like rough amount of peace amongst the world. Like, if we go and do this all the time, they're just going to freak out and feel like they're next and start fighting us. So we don't want that. We just want to go every once in a while, put a lot of propaganda around it so nobody thinks we're bad. You know what I mean? Like, they're picking and choosing. But then you still have to ask, like, I don't know, like, is it even worth it to go literally kill every person? And I mean, that's probably more of a, like, going back to the sport part. It's like, that's the game. Like, you don't
just dicks.
Yeah, you don't have to. You could go get the resources without it, but they're assholes, and that's their Olympics.
And probably the people could spill the beans if somewhere to see that, right? So that's probably a fear
that too
as well.
Yeah, like it's basically the Void Century on steroids, right?
But I just got another very important thought on this part, especially. Why is he acting like that this is something new that they discovered, like the abundant resources, like we discovered the abundant resources and like that? Or maybe I'm just reading this wrong, but don't they know what islands have what kind of resources?
Yeah, they already know, like, because he says while their abundant resources would certainly prove valuable to us, he's basically saying, like, we already, because he's also saying on the right side that they asked them to join the world government and they declined. So I think they've already identified that they have the resources, but now he's saying, yeah, like, the resources are good, but there's something else. Like, I think that's kind of like they've already done the analysis on the resource part.
But still, that resources part is kind of what kind of bugs me about it is like that. They are so long in control already, the world government. Shouldn't they know about these resources since ages? Like, shouldn't they know about how the world is built? Shouldn't they know what countries would be good to control and which not? So how did they take so long to now to decide to go there and be like trying to get them on their side? Like, why didn't they take it by force way earlier already?
Maybe they did, and maybe they have a long list of all the countries that they'd like to take over, and they probably have like an analysis on like how many resources they need, and they probably just like are just going after the ones that kind of make sense. Like yes, you want to have all the resources, but at some point it's like if you own all the islands, it's like you have to extract those and use them. And if you don't have like the amount of personnel or money to actually leverage them, it's almost easier just to wait until you do need them, probably. Right? It's kind of like with oil in the real world. I feel like if you have a huge store of it, you're probably not stressing about, taking over another country that has it or making good business deals. But if you're a country that doesn't have them, you're probably a lot more worried about the oil thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they probably have enough of a lot of the resources like throughout the years, but as time goes on, it's like, hey, we're getting low on this. Let's go take over this place. So they probably do have like a Rolodex of like all the islands and all their resources, but they just pick and choose the right time to go to each place. I guess. I mean, if I was an evil mastermind running the world government, that's what I would do. But there's a lot of things I would do that they don't do, so I might not be right. But I don't know. I'm excited to see where this goes. This is like one of those, like we knew God Valley was important, but Oda just keeps trickling new things. It's like, oh, hey, guess what? Shaggy's the treasure. Oh, guess what? There's this secret other thing at God Valley. Oh, guess what? Shanks was born there. It's like, okay, like...
Yeah. And Rox has a new love as well.
Yeah, so and that's a cool point too. Is like we're skipping over Blackbeard's birth or like Blackbeard's mom right now, like in the midst of this, right?
But he kind of acts embarrassed about it as well. Like he's shut up. I said it's none of your business. When they kind of bring it up, like it's as if it's something that's not fitting for someone of his. How do you say that? Like he's a very big pirate. Maybe it's like very weak village woman or something like that, or I don't know.
If you look at Roger and maybe Shanks, if you believe the Makino theories, like they just kind of married random people, not married, but had kids with random people, essentially, right? They just sailed around, found someone they liked, and they were just an average person, and they had kids with them. And it's like, it's just like happenstance, like love at first sight, random soulmate stuff, whatever I'm imagining. According
to Mr. Bushida's theory, where I made a video on, like they purposely were looking for another D member, a child that's a product of 2 D members. Like that's basically a part of the theory.
I kind of, I could see that. I kind of hope not, just because it's like it's not finding. Exactly. It's not. It's not. That's kind of the feeling we get. Like you even see Roger here. Like he's turning down Gloriosa all the time, and she's like probably one of the hottest women on the One Piece planet at this juncture of the world. So it's like, I don't. But I could see it. Because after Roger goes to Laugh Tale, maybe his outlook changed. He's like, well, now I know what I got to do, right? And it could also be a little bit of a like a Neptune and Otohime thing. Because remember how he like was told before he married her, oh, you're gonna have a kid with the goldfish girl. I can't remember exactly what they called her, but whatever she is, they alluded to it. Like, oh, you're gonna have a kid with her, and he's like, wait, no. He got like, oh, I just dropped something, but he got like really embarrassed by it. He was like, no, wait, no. But But he probably, because he did like her, but I don't know, he kind of got forced into it. It's like a prophetic thing. I kind of like that, though, the more I think about it. It's because that way it could be both. It could be what you're saying, where, yes, it's the 2D clans, but it could also be true love, where it's like, just because he got the glimpse of the future, he understood the whole importance. It's like, oh, since we're both Ds, then the kid's going to be really important. Well, but he liked her anyway, but you know what I mean. So I think that's way better. Yeah. But, speaking of having kids, we got to talk about Shanks and Shamrock being born on God Valley. I feel like this is a pretty big shock.
I feel like we should rename it to Twin Peak instead of the actual Twin Peak.
And honestly, now that you say that, and I look at the God Valley Island and like how you said like it's like a spaceship, I could also look at it now and say, well, the fact that there's two identical mountains split side to side, that could have been a hint all along that Shanks and Shamrock would be born here because it's like there's twin mountains in the back, right? So that's actually kind of cool. But yeah, this is a shocker, and I don't know if anybody noticed or if anybody brought this up in your chat, but Shamrock looks a lot like Bonnie as a baby.
They do?
Yes, sir. They look very... I mean, and to a degree, maybe a lot of the babies look similar in One Piece, but Bonnie...
But it would probably make sense. Like, we still don't know, like, who did the cruel thing to Ginny, right? So...
Yeah, exactly. That's, in. I think the main theory people have, which is probably going to be right, is that it is Shamrock. But I don't know if you saw in one of the anime episodes, like they had Garling's face like kind of reflect in Bonnie's like necklace.
No, I'm still collecting. I like to binge them, so I haven't seen the anime in a while.
Yeah, same. I'm behind too.
Garling is blonde, right? So like his blonde trait does not get transported onto the kids very well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They have red hair. Bonnie has pink hair.
Well, I feel like the colors are kind of random at this point. Like, I mean, they take after one of the parents, but it's not like a combination of the colors. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, which is weird, to be honest.
Yeah,
you like.
Yeah,
it should be a mix, right?
But I want, well, not like in real life. That's not how that really works. But I mean, you would think in Shonen that's how it would work. But I think Oda honestly does that just to like throw us off his trail. You know what I mean? Like if he always does the combo color, like if somebody with blue hair and blonde hair had a kid and they had green hair, then it's like, okay, now we can really start figuring everything out by just like the color matching. But so I think he just chooses one just to throw us off. But yeah, what do you think about this Shanks and Shamrock thing? Because like I said, this is a pretty big surprise, and so like what's up with the Celestial Dragon half-blood thing? Because now Shanks' mom is from God Valley, an unaffiliated country, so Shamrock is out there just shagging with whoever apparently and having kids. So I don't know, like what's up? What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
So when I saw that on my live stream, first of all, I was confused because I always assumed they were born at Marijoas, right? In the Holy Land somewhere. But apparently not. Like, and as you said, apparently they just go around and have children with whoever they please. And I guess that's not surprising because Celestial Dragons are dickheads.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of confused on, like, how he's not getting them instantly, right? Like,
yes, exactly.
Or taking the wife with him at least, so because that's what they usually do, right? Like if you look at Charlos, like he's trying to take away that woman from this one guy, right? And then he shoots him.
Yep.
And then Zoro happens and Bonnie happens and whatnot. But like usually they just take him, right? But Guarding's like, all right, like knocked her up. On to the next. Like, what's going on with that?
Yeah. That's what I'm so confused by is like so they really just don't care about the kids at all at this point,
don't,
right? They just don't care. Apparently, is what it seems like. Because also Bonnie is another example of like it's not like they were arguing with Kuma like, no, we need to get Bonnie back. Like they were pretty much saying the opposite. Like, well, if she dies from Sapphire Scale, whatever, you know, like the only way we'll help you is if you become our slave too, or whatever. You know, it's like it's. And I mean, it is just that the Celestial Dragons don't care, but it's just, now that Shamrock is a God's Knight, what is the story there, right? Like, that's where it gets confusing. And we also know that Shanks went back to the Holy Land, which it feels weird now that we're saying back to the Holy Land, because I think that's how the chapter phrased it, but that might be going to the Holy Land for the first time, because he wasn't born there. So,
and also,
Go ahead. No, you first.
Okay.
You first.
So, why do they send a God Knight to talk with this nation to join the world government or not? Why don't you just send whatever world government lackey as they usually do, right? Like, it's weird to me that a person as high in status as Garling is just like leaving Marijoas, going to the filthy place and like scouting stuff.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Well, and here's another thing. This is probably the story on why Gunko is Manmeyer Gunko, right? Like a Manmeyer God's Knight probably pulled up to Brooks Island, hooked up with some woman there who was Gunko's mom, and then so she was born on that island, but then they came back and got her. Like, I don't know if they came back and got her like purposefully, they were targeting her, but one way or another, she ended up in the Holy Land anyway, and is now like a God's Knight and a slave. It's the same story as Shamrock, it feels like. Like, the God's Knights go out and have these kids, and then at some point in the future, they come back and end up as God's Knights. So, what? Like, I'm very curious on how that works. Like, is this on purpose? Like, are they going out and just having a ton of kids, and then seeing like who rises above? You know what I mean? Like, who proves themselves in the world, and then whoever's good enough they bring back.
Superior mixed blood or something. Yeah, that's
because the other thing that somebody brought up in my chat is like, they might not want the God's Knights to be pure blood, because then they're inbred, and then you're like Charlos and you're useless, right? And so maybe they go out and have these kids all around the world, and they just wait and see, like, let's see who pans out. Some of them might die, some of them might go on to be normal people and not that special, but some of them might end up like Shanks and just be an absolute monster, right?
That's a really good point, yeah.
And then once they do, then they bring him back. But now, the other weird thing, though, is like, God Valley happened a year after this, so like Shamrock would have only been one, so it's not like he proved himself at this point. So what? So did Garling take him from here, and and like just brought him to the Holy Land then, or did Shamrock not get taken by Garling here and maybe had to go like do some other things and prove himself, and then got taken later once they knew he was like promising? Or like, I don't know. It just it also feels weird that Garling would come do this when there's a cleansing happening a few years later, because it's like the mom is probably gonna die in the midst of that, you would think, and like the kids will be in danger. So it's like, but maybe that's also part of the test. Like, if the baby survives the cleansing, then they must be, special. Like, there's like a prophecy with them. I don't know.
I feel like since they found Shanks in a treasure chest, right? What if like the world government guys, like, they were like, yeah, put all the valuables on the ship, right? And Garlic was like, oh yeah, throw my kids in there as well. And it was like 2 treasure chests. Yeah, and like the Roger pirates stole one of them, right? And they got Shanks. I wouldn't put a baby in a treasure chest, but I mean, they're celestial dragons, so.
I could almost see the opposite, where like somebody snuck the babies in the chest as a way to like get them out safely, because they're thinking like, out of all the things on this island, the treasure's the thing they're going to definitely take, right? And get out of here. Like, that's what we want.
Exactly. And so, then they have riches around them. If the person who has the treasure must be rich, so maybe, hopefully, the child will be in good hands then. Like,
yeah.
Kind of this thought process.
Yeah, I could definitely see Shanks' mom here, like, running to like put them in chests, because it's like, it's the only option she had, probably, at the time. But I could almost see the opposite, where like Garling wasn't thinking about his kids, but he's like, hey, make sure you grab all the treasure, we need all the money. And then once he gets on the ship, he's like, wait, there's a baby in here? And then I don't know how he figures out that it's his kid. I mean, like, he doesn't even know the baby's name right now, right? I would imagine. So maybe
but somehow he's still named Shamrock, right? So he must have learned the name at some point, right?
Yeah, so maybe she had like a name tag on the baby or something whenever she put it in the chest. I don't know, because like Shanks is the same thing.
No, that would even make sense because they are twins. So it would make sense.
True, to tell them
put
apart.
Name tags on them.
Oh, that's so true. I gotta see how this unfolds now, and so I guess let's end with that. We're getting God Valley soon, right? The full thing.
I hope so. Like, I feel like I forgive Oda for many things he puts in SBS. Like, I really was not so upset about Zoro's past being in the SBS. Was alright to me, but this, Oda, please, we have to see this. Don't tell us all this via SBS. Like, that would be pure cruelty.
Yeah, we're definitely not. If we get that in SBS, there's going to be riots in Japan and here. I did a poll a couple weeks ago about if we're going to get the full God Valley flashback, and I think I did that after Chapter 1157, and 2/3 of people said yes, and I think I agree with it. And I
think so as well. Yeah.
And I think I would put my percentages right where these are too. Like there's a 2/3 chance yes, 1/3 chance we kind of glide over it, and we'll get the full thing a little bit later. Like we're going to get some of it. You know, we're gonna see Rox pull up there. Like, are we gonna get the full thing where we see Rox actually die? I could see a world where we get that later, but I think it's gonna happen here. 2/3 chance we're gonna get the full thing, unredacted, 100%. I think.
Yeah, I can totally see Oda edging us for a bit, like stopping at a very interesting point and then just going back to like what happens right now in Elbaf. But at some point after that, I think we definitely get the full thing. Like he has to. There's so many things that come together now, like Garp and Roger versus Rox and whatnot. All this stuff happens at Gold Valley, right? So we have to see that. And where's Harold in this correlation? He's going to Good Valley apparently, right? So
yeah, that just made me think. Another big part of this is like, you know, a lot of this is about Harold and Rox's relationship, which we just saw was a little rocky, no pun intended, the last time we saw, because they were fighting in this last chapter.
And Harold takes the L on this, not gonna lie. Yeah, like he's on the wrong side.
oh, I thought you meant in the fight. I was gonna say, it felt very 50-50 to me, but yeah.
Yeah, no, the fight, but...
Well, actually, you know what, let's talk about that a little bit, and then we'll get out of here, because I do need to go drop off this Thatcher at my boss's house. But, I mean, he'll be all right if I'm a little late, but... I actually do want to talk about this just a little bit, because I know what you mean, because he's like doing the government's bidding, which is bad.
Yeah, so disappointed.
But I would give a little pushback that it's the completely wrong choice, because you see up here in the top left, I don't have it's cropped off a little bit, but but the reason he does this is because of something that's been alluded to over and over and over. Which is that,
I understand.
Which is like Harold's trying to improve the relationship with the world and help the Giants and get rid of the Giants, you know, thing of being these like horrible beings that just cause terror. And so part of that is now killing Rox, which I know we like Rox. Believe me, I'm a huge fan. But I don't think we should start believing that Rox is just a good guy. Like he's definitely lukewarm, you know what I mean? Like, yes, he's against the government. I mean, he was like maybe decapitating people in the Groggy Ring one. He had that bloody axe on, and he's just shooting the other person's ship. He cut Loki down when he was a kid multiple times, and like
he's a prick for real.
Yeah, you parallel that to Luffy. Remember earlier this arc when Luffy was like messing with the kids and he like punched the ground and scared them? He didn't hit any of the kids. Like, he's not hurting anybody, right? He's scaring them. Rox is cutting Loki, like bleeding, like in a hospital bed. So it's like, but regardless, you know, working for the government we know is bad. But at the same time, the Marines often, like probably 90% of the time, are doing a good thing, right? They are out there stopping bad pirates. So it is like, it's just an interesting moral dilemma between the two, is mainly what I think. Like, is there a clear right or wrong side? I mean, I don't know if it's right to team up with Rox. It's probably wrong to, like, you know, like become the government's like military, because that's what Rox is saying, is like they're just going to use you as soldiers. They're not here to help you, which is true. But at the same time, joining Rox wouldn't be the right choice either, because he'd probably be hurting people a lot of the time there too. So it's like, it's just an interesting moral dilemma, all because Harold's trying to right the wrongs of the past, right? The Giants have wronged a lot of people, and he's like, how do I fix this, right? He's struggling here, because as we're seeing in these flashbacks, other people are like, you know, we were attacked a long time ago by Giants, man. We can't work with you. Hey, we're really scared. That doesn't fade so easily. It's like, Harold's like, what do I got to do, man? Like, what do I got to do to fix it? And I just think it's interesting. I think it's very powerful from Oda's perspective.
It is. I totally get your pushback, and it definitely is a big dilemma, but and I don't want to down talk it, but the one thing that I cannot forgive him is that they are friends, right? So the right thing here would have been to not try to kill him, like try to find another way to get in cahoots with the world government if you want to do that so bad. And I think Rox is right, you shouldn't, but if you can't do that, then keep trying making it up with these other nations in somehow in another way. Like, don't try to kill your friend. Like, what the heck is that? That's a big L for Harold on my side here.
It's tough for me because, like, they are friends, but the entire time Harold's been like, you know, you're a criminal. Like, I can't be seen with you. Like, this is not... And it's not like a Vivi in Straw Hats version where they're like, I can't be seen with pirates.
But then it's more like befriended him in the first place.
But it's more like you're you're a questionable person. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what he's saying is, like, it's not that I don't just want to be a pirate or anything. It's that I'm not entirely convinced, you know, you're out there doing the right thing. I've seen the stories.
I would say they are pretty good buddies, like, from all what we've seen so far. Like, he's checking in from time to time. Like, I don't know. For me, it looks like it, at least.
Yeah, I feel like Rox likes Harold more than Harold likes Rox, if that makes sense. Because Rox is the one who keeps coming back, like, join my crew. And Harold's like, nope. And so... Yeah, but it's like I said, it's just interesting. Like, I don't think either are completely in the right or either are completely in the wrong. I think both of their, like, hearts are in the right place. They're just trying to figure it out, man. You know, Rox is like, dude, we can take over the world and make it better if you join me. And he's like, well, I can actually, like, make the life better for the Giants if I kill you. And it's like, you know, they're both trying to do what they think is the right thing. I don't even think Harold's here being completely convinced that he's doing the right thing either. I think he is struggling, honestly. I think he's like, what do I got to do, right? How do I fix this?
He's definitely not happy about doing this. It's clearly visible, but still, like, I'm still on Rock's side on this. I'm sorry. Like,
I don't know if I'm on either person's side, to be honest. Because if Rox takes over the world, he's gonna go do a lot of the same stuff the government's doing. You know what I mean? Like it's same thing with Blackbeard. Like, if he were to take over the world, is it really gonna be better than the government? Like, I'm not convinced that that's true. So
but for me, this is Luffy Usopp all over again. Like,
that's a good parallel.
Harold being Usopp here and definitely having a very good point and an understandable point, but Luffy maybe being pushed by Zoro, but still having the right point, in my opinion. So
yeah, because even back then you look, and I would argue that Usopp was right, kind of, because the Mary ended up saving them. If they got rid of the Mary completely at that point, it would have never come back to save them after the fight and everything. And I think that's what Oda's building up to. And I honestly think the Void Century is going to be the same thing, where like neither side is right or wrong. It's like you can see what both sides are saying. And it's not that you agree with what either side did, but you understand why it all happened, right? And so I think it's pretty much the same thing. It's like,
but that's good. That's just good writing, in my opinion.
100%.
There shouldn't be black and white. Yeah, it's good.
Even Vegapunk said multiple times in his announcement, like, don't judge which side's good or evil. I don't have enough information to tell you.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what happened, right?
The Gandalf Frodo moment.
Yeah, it's I don't know, Oda cooks with that stuff, man. So I'm excited. Like I said, like I don't know if I really support either of them, but I support the fact this fight happened because it's just it's such a good emotional thing. But all right, man. Hey, we reached the end. So Marth, I appreciate you for joining me today, my friend. Anything you'd like to say to the people? Anything you'd like to say to the people before you head out of here?
Well, yeah, I'm making my second part of the creepypasta. It's a One Piece creepypasta. So I feel like I'm the only person who ever did this. It doesn't have much views, the first part yet, but if you're into stuff like that, go and check it out. Second part will be dropping hopefully next week, maybe the week after. And beside that, God Valley is a spaceship, folks, and Emu is a clown. Yeah.
And if you want to hear more about those agendas, head over to Marth's channel, which I'll link below. And Marth also does, live reactions for the chapters and all that stuff. So
True.
Go over and join him for those if you'd like. But yeah, we're heading out. So thank you all for watching, and we'll be back next week. Peace out.
Bye.